We're in the beautiful office of Cyber Capital Amsterdam. We're here with Justin Bonds. How are you doing, Justin?
I'm doing great, thank you.
All right. January 2019, it's a fresh new year. So what are your 3 cryptocurrencies for 2019?
All right. Here we go. So the top 3 might not have changed too much since I discussed this last time, but obviously at Cyber Capital we take a bit more of a conservative approach. So in that sense, we like to invest in the large protocol layers. So in our view, the top 3 protocol layers, I think number 1 for us is very much Ethereum, and I think that's objectively the correct way to look at things. When we look at like utility and we look at business adoption and institutional adoption, Ethereum is clearly leading in this sense, and the work that they're doing is very very good. They are really doing some very difficult things. They're doing real computer science work there, so I really like what Ethereum has been doing and what they're heading towards, and I'm confident that they can achieve their goals. I will mention here that that the Ethereum Constantly hard fork has been delayed. This is news that actually just broke today, as a matter of fact, and obviously this is very disappointing. But at the same time, it feels like, the correct course of action, since a security vulnerability was found about 24 hours before the hard fork was scheduled, which was quite a curveball. But at the same time, when it comes to this type of protocol, you don't want to take any risk. So I feel like the foundation and the community as a whole has really made, the correct decision to delay the hard fork in order just, to play it safe. It's also worth noting that it is just one minor part of the hard fork that's actually causing these issues. Yeah. So yeah, I'll go to my number 2.
Still wearing the Ethereum t-shirts?
I sure am, indeed. Yeah, it might look like an Ethereum Classic t-shirt, but I assure you, it's not in my mind. So
number 2.
Number 2. So number 2 for us is actually Dash. So we actually really like Dash, and I because it is a type of DAO. It has a self-funding mechanism. So the self-funding mechanism essentially just takes part of the block reward and puts that in a treasury, which can then be voted upon by the masternodes. And with such a system, it actually provides funding for a blockchain. It protects against things like corporate capture of the development team. It provides a lot of independence. You're able to create, you're able to do lobbying. You're able to do a lot. It creates a much stronger virtuous cycle. So for me, that's very interesting. And at the same time, Dash recently released version 1.3, or is it version 0.13? Might have to double check that. But basically what has been done is all of the groundwork, all of the kind of core protocol work has been done for Dash Evolution now, so, which is very exciting for me. One thing I love about Dash as well is that they're really aiming to be the most user-friendly cryptocurrency, and all of the kind of technical groundwork for that is now live on the mainnet. So that to me is very exciting.
Yeah, and they're doing good in Venezuela. I think it was more than 2,000 shops are using Dash.
That's right, more than 2,000 shops, and also measured by the number of transactions. Actually, the majority of transactions in Venezuela are occurring on Dash, as a matter of fact. So that's very encouraging to see, and that's the kind of thing we'd like to see with a real cryptocurrency.
0 fees.
I don't think that that's accurate. I believe that it was mentioned that way, but I believe it's just no extra fees for the instant send. As far as I understand it, I have never seen a blockchain that can achieve 0 fees. To me, that is an impossibility. So you have projects like certain Tangles, IOTA, maybe Nano, who say, also EOS, by the way, they say there is 0 fee, but the fee is just calculated in a different way. I don't particularly like when people say that. So for instance, in something like Nano and IOTA, the fee is actually a proof of work that needs to be done when you do a transaction. In EOS, the fee takes the form of actually staked EOS, actually. So that's not free. There is a cost, it's just the cost is calculated in a different way. The reason why blockchains can't have any fee is because of the Sybil problem. If there is no fee, someone could attack the network by essentially overloading it with transactions at no cost. That is something that's a problem that no blockchain has solved, and I don't foresee anyone solving this problem anytime soon.
All right. Number 3.
Yeah. So number 3 for us is actually Bitcoin Cash. still, even though we have actually reduced our position rather considerably since then, going down the top 3, there is actually a rather steep curve in terms of how much we hold in these assets. So we have reduced our position in Bitcoin Cash. But on the other hand, it's a movement that is still very legitimate in terms of the passion that it inspires in people, in terms of its legacy as a contender to the Bitcoin name, so to speak, as a legitimate fork from Bitcoin. So in that sense, it's interesting, and I'm watching very closely to see how things evolve. So at the same time, even though we have reduced our position significantly, even though I see problems there, at the same time, there is it's still some hope to be had there, I think, and there's still interesting aspects to that. So I'm very interested to see how it will adapt, how it will change. There is a lot of development work being done on it, actually. And obviously, I also believe in a world where we can have multiple dominant cryptocurrencies. And I'm also a believer in that, those cryptocurrencies will reflect the diversity of belief in the world. And some people might just really believe in Bitcoin Cash, and I can understand that. At the same time, I think it has limitations, and I would like to. I would like to see fast.
The biggest limitation?
A lack of Turing complete smart contracts. Yeah, I feel that this is a major limitation, and I'm not buying the idea of creating off-chain Turing complete smart contracts. This is something that Rootstock is doing. This is something that Wormhole is doing. I consider this not to be a good trade-off, because when you do things off-chain, you don't get the same guarantees. And in that same sense, you need to compete with blockchains that can do this on-chain. So in that sense, I feel like an ideal base layer, dominant protocol layer really needs Turing complete smart contracts. And that's something that currently both Bitcoin Cash and Dash lack. However, I consider Dash to be much more likely to adopt Turing complete smart contracting just because of the way that the governance is organized behind this.
All right. Thank you very much, Justin, for this top 3
Thank you.
cryptocurrencies.